Welcome to the Club Talk Podcast, brought to you by Golfpay, where customer experience is the product. Now on with our show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Golfpay Podcast. My name is Dale Merritt. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Golfpay. And today's topic is social distancing at the golf course. How are golf courses adapting to these new restrictions? Today's date is May 10th, 2020. Most states have actually, in fact, I think maybe all but one or two have opened back up again. But, of course, there's a couple twists to it. Everybody has to be 6 feet apart. That's the new... That's the main restriction, I think. But our interactions just need to be as touchless as possible. And golf courses seem to be adapting pretty rapidly to this. There seems to be definitely a pent-up demand for golf. So we're seeing tee sheets filling up pretty quick, which is pretty exciting. And, of course, most importantly is everybody stays safe, the golfers and the staff. And what I wanted to do is reach out to a couple golf course customers and see how they're doing it, how they're adapting to it. What are they seeing on their side of the counter? And I think it's a very interesting topic because I think there's a number of new normals that's going to come out of this, and I think we all need to know what that might look like so we can be prepared for it. But today we're going to talk to Martin Ort. He's the general manager of Desert Canyon Golf Club in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Beautiful golf course. I've played it a number of times. Lots of character to it. Very interesting layout. But Martin has been on the platform for probably a little over 2 years, and we're going to give him a quick call here and see how he's doing.
Hey, Martin, this is Dale Merritt from Golfpay. How are you today?
Hey, Dale, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's your afternoon going?
It's going. Out here in the desert, it's getting pretty hot in the afternoons now.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate you joining us on this podcast, and we sent you an email about this, but the topic of the podcast is kind of what everybody seems to be talking about right now is social distancing and how that is affecting, golf course operations, how it's affecting golf courses in general. How are you doing things differently, let's say, than you did in the past, and maybe what you see in the future? So I appreciate you joining me on that. And I think a good place to start is, if you wouldn't mind, Martin, is to tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got in the golf business.
Yeah, so I have been in the golf business now for 10 years. I was brought in just simply to kind of rebuild the golf course's website, where I'm currently still at, Desert Canyon Golf Club. I was brought in to do the website and to kind of give it a simple little overhaul. I had gotten a degree in video game design, actually. So it was a drastic shift in terms of what I...
That's a drastic shift.
and what I ended up doing, but the little bit of web design and HTML coding and stuff that I learned for the game design space kind of helped with this. And then I got some additional hours in the shop, and then had some other things kind of pop up here at the course that they weren't doing yet. Social media was still kind of new, but the facility hadn't had a Facebook page set up yet. Twitter and Instagram weren't around yet, but once those started to come on board, I got the account set up there, got some stuff on YouTube, so kind of started building the social media presence for the golf course as well. And then over the years now just continue to take on a couple other different little projects, and started doing more email marketing as well, and working with our wholesalers, getting bigger groups out to the golf course. And now recently this January, I ended up getting brought up to be the general manager here at the club.
Well, obviously you've been a customer for probably close to a couple of years, somewhere around there. And I've been out at your course a number of times in that time. I got out there just after this whole thing started with the restrictions, social distancing. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty impressed how quick, you had hopped on, these different things that everybody's starting to do now, which is, the cups raised up, and I know you're doing probably more things even since I've been there. It was a few, I would say it was a month and a half ago at least. So you got in on it kind of early. Can you tell me a little bit about your audience at Desert Canyon? Who are your customers? How would you characterize your customers?
Our customer base, Fountain Hills in general is where we're located, and it's a bit of an older senior community. A lot of folks come out here to retire. We get a lot of snowbirds in our fall, winter, and spring that make Arizona their home that time of year to get out of the snow and the miserable weather up north or back east. So we definitely have an older clientele. They, for the most part, play maybe 2 to 3 times a week. It's kind of an interesting, we're a public golf course, but it's kind of interesting with how they view the golf course, and then it almost has kind of like a semi-private feel to it.
I agree. Yeah, I would say every time I run into somebody that mentions your course, they always have great things to say. Definitely, it's got a lot of character to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's a lot of variety on the course, which is one of the things I like about it. Is every hole's a little different. There's not one hole that's similar to another. It goes through a little canyon here in Fountain Hills, so there's a lot of elevation change, a lot of up and down, some narrow shots, some more wider fairways, elevated greens, and elevated tee boxes. So there's a lot for everybody. It's kind of tailored to any level of player, because the low handicappers, it's going to make them think a little bit. There's nothing hidden, but it's going to make them think in terms of which club they'll use, because it doesn't have anything that's too challenging, and it kind of lets you enjoy golf.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I played there, and it just ate me up, and then I played there. It's got, and I'm about a 80. I'll shoot like 85 to 88 probably on the average. I shot a 79 out there probably about a year ago. I was pretty happy with myself. That's going to be a tough course.
Yeah, the more you play it, the more you learn, because certain areas might be a little quirky, but once you really kind of figure it out and dial it in, it becomes a lot of fun. Yeah,
it definitely is. Obviously you've been in the business for 10 years, and for the audience, again, this is Martin Ort, General Manager of Desert Canyon. And tell us a little bit of what you see, as maybe the biggest change that you've happened to notice since you got in the business 10 years ago.
I think it's probably this way with a lot of industries now, just the technology, the way that's kind of driven certain things with, folks using their phones for everything, with booking reservations online. Our reservations used to mainly be done over the phone, and now over the years, even our card holders who are a little older and still like doing things, kind of, I guess you could say, the old-fashioned way of face-to-face over the phone. We're even starting to see that more of them are starting to really take on the online bookings, and more recently, we've seen them also check in a lot with your guys' platform, and they seem to be enjoying it, and just kind of the convenience of all of that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when all this came down, right? It's just, we've seen exponential increases in golfers that want to obviously prepay, so they don't have to deal with the credit card and handing over cash or what have you. So we've seen a big acceleration there. So I would agree with you. That's definitely something that probably the biggest shift I've seen since I've been in the business, which obviously is not been there as long as you. But yeah, everybody going to online booking and checking in and things like that. Now, I was looking at, like I said last time when I was there, I noticed some of the things you were doing from a social distancing standpoint, just to keep everybody safe, the golfers and the staff. So maybe you could tell the audience what kind of things you have done and how that's been working.
Yeah, so in terms of outside, we start there on the actual golf course. We've done kind of the typical stuff that other golf courses have done. We've taken the bunker rakes off the course. We covered up the ball washers. We took a lot of golf courses put the little foam noodle down in the bottom of it, and we designed just the cups upside down, which kind of does a similar thing, and it keeps the ball up a little higher. It keeps the flag stick in. And then up until recently, we had removed the water jugs off the golf course, and with temperatures now being over 100 degrees, I kind of felt like it was the right thing to have the water out there available to golfers if they chose to use them. We have a sign on there that says, if uses at your discretion. If you don't want to use it, don't touch it. But if you do need water, I really don't want people out there when it's 100 plus degrees and they don't have water to drink.
Sure.
So
they'll die on the course instead of from the virus, right?
Exactly. I'd like to avoid that.
Exactly. I did notice that you turned your cups over. I have not seen that at any other course that I've played. I've probably played 10 courses since. That's the first time I ever saw that, but I really liked it. I thought, I've had some, you see the, where they put the foam in, and that's probably, like you said, the most common. I've seen where they raise the cups so above the ground, which, that's...
Yeah, that, me and our superintendent, we're not a fan of that, because then, and even I think the real, true golfers, they're not going to like that, because then did it really go in, did it all this different stuff, and then, you have to account for all those different things in terms of scoring, and so turning it upside down just kind of seems like the quickest, easiest way of kind of fixing that, and it's probably something that we're going to keep moving forward, to be honest. Just, again, with our clientele being as old, not having to reach down a little further, can make a big difference in terms of, and then taking the flag sticks out, kind of speeds up things too, if you don't have to put it, drop it down and then run back and grab it, and so that's probably something that we're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question is, I see the same thing. I see, that being, in fact, last weekend I was playing with somebody and they liked the fact that they didn't have to even, go down, even though it's only a couple more inches. It makes a big difference on your back.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's funny, but...
You have to do that 18 times, and, you've been playing golf for 3.5, 4 hours. Those little things add up.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never would have thought that. So is there anything else, let's say, that you've done in these, recent changes to accommodate social distancing that you think, besides that is going to, keep carrying forward more than likely, at least with your course?
I think one thing that now people have kind of been forced to use and things along those lines, so even with your guys' platform with Golfpay, I think they've seen now how easy it actually is, where before they may have been a little intimidated or not sure about even wanting to try it. And now, as many people that we've been getting checking in that way or booking tee times that way, I think they've seen that it is pretty easy, and that it's, for them it's a real convenience in terms of, saving time, or, they can take care of their golf on the way to the course or when they get here. So I think that number in terms of how many folks use that is probably going to stay. And then inside, in terms of social distancing and we've put up plexiglass between us and the customer. We removed the pen for signing signatures. The receipt printers are on the counter, so our guests can grab those as they print out. We've always sanitized our golf carts, and we've sanitized everything inside it as much as we can. So we've upped that a little bit, but in terms of how we were doing it before, not much has really changed, because especially outside with the carts, we always did a good job of sanitizing those. And one thing that we added on once this started was we found some steering wheel covers, like ones you would find at like mechanic when they work on your car. So we found those, and we have those for folks who prefer to have that on the cart. They can grab those in the shop when they check in.
Oh, that's interesting. Did not see that. I think those are probably fairly recent then, right?
Yeah, we got those probably at the end of March. I don't think we had them yet when you came through.
Okay, yeah, that's cool though. That's great. So, one of the things I like to ask, guys like yourself about, their course is, do you have a favorite hole? Like, what's your favorite hole over there? And why?
Let's see. There's some good ones on the golf course. It's I mean, number 16 is one that's always a lot of fun. It's a par 3. There's a 153-foot drop down to the green.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that one's a lot of fun to play. It really makes you think in terms of which club to use because you got to take at least a club off. So that one's a lot of fun. I actually like our 18th hole, which a lot of folks they've come through the shop before and have told us to blow it up.
That's a tough hole sometimes.
It is, and that's actually why we nicknamed it Dynamite, just kind of as having fun with that.
Blow up hole.
Yeah, because it is a little, it can definitely ruin your round if you get a little too aggressive on that hole. It kind of drops off, and then you have a very steep shot back up to the green down from basically the canyon floor that we have here. So the second shot can be very difficult if you put a little too much on it from the tee. So I usually on that one just lay up with low iron and then have a pretty good second shot. So those two holes are probably some of the ones that I like best. Even though there's a lot of good ones. There's so much variety here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I agree. Those two holes are my favorite as well. Well, as we wrap up, anything else you'd like to talk about before we go? Maybe do you guys have any special offers going into the summer here?
In the summertime, not really. We have a club card program that we offer that's been really successful over the years. We're a public course, but we have our discount card essentially is what it is, and we sell that, and we probably have about 850 to 900 folks who have purchased it throughout the year. And we have a lot of them renewing year over year, and it gets you discounts on golf, merchandise, food in the restaurant, range balls. You can bring guests for the same rate 7 days a week. You have preferred tee time booking. So there's a lot of good benefits that come with that, and just by having that card alone, it kind of drops the rate down a lot in the summertime. It's in about the mid to high 30s, and then after 11 in the summer when it's nice and hot and you want to go play, it drops down to about $30 to play. So it's a pretty good program.
Cool. Is that digitized in the Golfpay booking?
Yeah.
So golfers.
Yeah. So if you can make that purchase when you go and book a tee time here at the club. You can make that purchase, and then we'll have the card ready for you when you check in.
That's cool. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, Martin, I appreciate you taking the time today. I know how busy you are, and things are, crazy for a lot of different reasons, and can't tell you how much I appreciate you as a customer, and you've always been great to work with, and look forward to continue working with you.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and it's actually with this happening, it was nice that we kind of had you guys already set up and in place because it's provided a nice outlet for all our guests.
Yeah, that's pretty fortuitous, for sure. And yeah, we can see those bulk check-ins coming through on all of our customers, and I'm sure a lot of them are coming through for you as well. So we really appreciate it, Martin, and we'll talk soon. Okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.